Yes, guys, we are back in the pyjamas. Welcome to April. I had a fucking productive ass day today, I'm not gonna lie. I think I wrote about 2,500 words, give or take, in a day, which I'm like kind of amazed at. This is my arts and health Bible that has turned up. I already love her. Best money I ever did spend. But yeah, I was with Kat and Kirsty all day today, and all day yesterday as well. And I'm a whole 969 even words away from reaching the 7,000 word goal for the chapter. So I feel like this is doable. It's like a tangible, like, I can reach it type goal now. The philosophy is going to be rough as fuck. I have accepted that. And I actually think my aim is to try and finish like a rough first draft by the end of tomorrow, leave it over Easter weekend, and then pick it back up next week with the aim of like editing it and like reshuffling it around and like trying to make it make a bit more sense. So yeah, I think we're gonna get there. I think I'm going to submit something that I'm like 97% happy with and then just be like, fuck the philosophy. It's going to be a disaster, but like, I don't really care because like the rest of it's going to be fine. I really need to edit last month's episode because we're running out of space on this phone, which is fun. It's maybe a sign that I need to like invest in like a proper camera rather than using my phone because it then takes up like my Google Drive storage. We've currently got like 70 gigabytes worth of stuff, and I think a good like 60 of that is just like footage, so it's kind of concerning. I clearly talk too much. Hello, you join me as I just realised I left my mug upstairs. I was being so organised, I was like, oh, look at me go. Nope, no, we forgot the cup to make a cup of tea with, so not doing so great. We have a chapter, guys. We have a chapter. It's like 600 words under the word count, but we have a chapter. Actually, it's 1,600 under the minimum word count, but like, no one really seems to be paying attention to that. I'm just happy that like I have something I can work with. It is raining today, and obviously it is bank holiday Friday because it's Easter Friday or whatever it is. I don't know. Basically, not doing uni things today, but wanted to pop in and be like, I've got a chapter. I'm not looking at it until probably like Wednesday, Thursday next week. I need to just check some like ethic bits on Tuesday because there's a few edits that I need to do for that, and then that's also ready to go, so I might just send it both out at the same time. We're planning on submitting the ethics on the 6th of May. I think I'm going to be ready before then, so like I'm just going to submit whenever I'm ready to submit it, not like on the deadline, because that's like the latest you can submit if you want it to be reviewed in May. I think Cardiff's got a slightly different Cardiff's got a different way of doing it than UCL did, which was like a recurring deadline. So I think in order for this one to be looked at in May, it needs to have been submitted by the 6th of May. I think that's how it works. I'm not entirely sure because I'm not part of the ethics committee. So yeah, I also rummaged through like all of my stuff in the house. Last night reorganised, like I now have a living room with a TV and a DVD player that work upstairs, which is like the coolest thing ever. And I've like found all my DVD collections. I've got my academic books upstairs, so my plan is to like sort through those today and like get them out so that I know what I've got. I'm off to my nan's tomorrow, and I'll be back again Monday. Yeah, and then like plan for next week. I'm gonna be in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Because like why not? And then I think Monday and Friday I might either work from home or I might do some bits for the house. It depends how I'm feeling. Because a lot of the stuff that I've got to do for the house are like stuff I've not done before. I definitely will be home Friday because I've got a delivery of like tools and bits for the house coming. So I'm definitely working on the house Friday at the very like minimum. So yeah, by Friday, by end of play Thursday really, I will have submitted the chapter. Ethics will probably have gone to them by the end of next week as well. And then, depending on when I send things, I've got my master's dissertation that like Thomas and I have been speaking for like forever about like trying to publish. I need to check that over and send it over to him because we're meeting about that either the 20th or the 21st. So he obviously like needs access to it, and I haven't like properly looked it over since I was in HUDs, so like a good at least year and a half, potentially longer. So yeah, I'm going to go and edit last month's vlog. Hello, join me as I'm cooking dinner. Can we just appreciate how fucking cute this dress is? And she's got pockets. Do we need anything else in life? No. Gosh, I'm tired. My radiator decided it was going to leak last night, which was fun. But I got back from uni today. I have been doing a weird, wacky combination of about 6 different things. So I'm meeting my friend Thomas later this month to discuss publishing the results of my master's dissertation. So I had a quick look over that paper again. I think there's actually some sections that we can delete. And I need to like reword a few bits. I want to like have a proper look through it tomorrow. I also met another PhD student, Abby, who lives actually not that far from where I am, which is really nice. And she is doing adult safeguarding. So like elder abuse type topic. So like we've got a lot of common, and because she lives near where I do, we got off at the same train station. So I had some company on the train on the way home. I briefly started having a look over my chapter again. We are not ever going to get this to probably like close to 8,000 words. I just realistically don't think that's going to happen. But I think we'll manage to submit something that like I'm decently happy with. So we are gonna do a few things this week. I have a meeting that I'm quite excited about. I'm also a bit nervous about it, but I'm like mostly excited. So I'm talking to the head of our school as well as the Cardiff specific head of like the people who are funding me basically, which are the WGSSS, or the Welsh Graduate School of Social Sciences, or as I like to call them, WUGS. So I was fortunate enough when I joined my my PhD that I knew Kat, so she kind of became like my like buddy. She already is like my friend, but like she became like my PhD buddy. So like if I had questions or like didn't know what I was doing, like she'd help me answer them. But a lot of my friends like haven't, in the first year with me, haven't had that luxury. So it got me thinking, and I was like, actually, it'd be really nice if everyone had like the opportunity to have, like there isn't that kind of disparity between like experiences and stuff. So I was like, oh, it'd be really cute if we had like a PGR buddy scheme. So I reached out to the head of my school and was like, do we think that we could do this? And he was like, yeah, that sounds great. It would help solve like a bunch of the issues that we're having around like a lack of community, like blah, blah, blah. So I then reached out to the head of the Cardiff branch of the Woods people and went, is there any chance that I could chat to you about this? Because like I think it would be quite useful if we like formally linked it up with like the WGSSS like scheme and make sure that it works within like your timelines as well as like the school's timelines, just so that it's not like a complete logistical nightmare for everyone. And everyone's been really on board with it, so I'm setting that. I'm having a chat with them about that tomorrow. I also then want to expand the scheme to be like SOCSI wide as well, so that it's not just people who are ESRC or WOODS funded who get this like perk, that it's like the entire school is involved in it. So I might need to have a separate meeting with Dean about that. Then I need to like update a couple of the second years who have expressed a potential interest in being involved in the scheme about what potential involvement would look like once I've had the meeting. The reps, the student reps and I are applying for a funding bid as well, so I've got some work I need to do on that. I've also got my chapter that needs like some work doing on it. Plus, yeah, like just like a couple of other bits. I really want to have a look at this paper properly. That I'm publishing with Thomas. So I'm gonna look at that as well. So yeah, hopefully by the end of the week, like we'll have a bit of a better understanding as to like what I'm doing. We're also gonna, as I've said before, get this chapter by the 10th. So I might prioritise that first. The ethics, pretty much good to go, which I'm like, woo, about, quite chuffed. So that just needs to be sent back for, like, any additional, like, things that I've missed. And then one or both of them, I'm not quite sure how it works. Someone needs to sign off on it from, like, a staff's perspective to be like, yes, we've had a look over it and we agree with her approaches and we don't think that she's going to go completely batshit insane. So once that is done, I can then submit to the ethics committee, which is going to be amazing. And then I don't really know what I'm going to do once all of this is, like, done. I'm trying to work it out. Because, like, my data collection isn't proposed to start until October. And I'm like, that's 6 months away. So it's like what I do once I've done this 9-month review, which is next month, by the way. So I might also chat to my team about that and be like, what do I do now? Because I would quite like to get something published. But I sort of don't really have anything logical to publish at PhD level yet. Because, like, I can't really publish my methodology chapter because, like, it's a fucking mess. So yeah, I don't quite know what I'm gonna do, people. Other than do what I do best and make it up as I go along. So yeah, we'll see. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, that's the plan for the week. Abby and Kirsty are definitely in tomorrow, so I'm not going to be by myself. I don't know if then Thursday or Friday, Friday I definitely need to be home because I've got a delivery. But it's whether I stay home Thursday and go to the tip on Thursday, or if I try and do that on Friday as well. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to go eat some dinner. About to join a meeting. I don't really want to bother attending this meeting because I think it's slightly pointless, but like, I'll attend anyway. It's one of my support teams, but like, it's wellbeing support. I'm quite happy at the moment, mostly because I just got a new drill driver. So like, I'm fucking fancy ass now. Yeah, I need to like tidy up this evening. But my plan is once this meeting is done, assuming the weather stays nice, I'm going outside and doing some bits with the house and the garden. So we'll see. Wonder if she's going to start this. She's not started this meeting on time. She never does. She always leaves me waiting. I'll join you guys when she like starts the meeting. Well, that meeting got cancelled. I'm really fucking done with this mentor. This is not the first time she has done this. she's been so pushy about me like attending meetings as well. And I'm like, I'm meant to be the one that reaches out to be like, hey, I need some support, can we meet? And like, she never lets it come from me. She's always like, oh, I want to talk to you, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I'm like, I get that you're probably like trying to support me, but like, fuck off. Like, I'm the kind of person where like, if I need support, like I will say to someone, hey, do you have a moment for me to chat to you? So I have given up. I'm making myself some lunch. And then I'm going to leave all uni related things for this weekend, potentially most of next week as well. I've got a couple of meetings about disabled student allowance that I'm doing next week. But other than that, if my sibling is down, probably not really going to be doing all that much. Because I'm kind of about as caught up as I can be. I need to send over the ethics, but like if that doesn't get sent over until like Thursday or Friday, then like that's fine. I'm not too fussed. I'd rather like make the most of the fact that I might have help for the house than be like, oh, I need to do uni things, because like I'm ahead of where I need to be anyway. So yeah, back to house stuff we go. Sorry if you can hear the dishwasher, by the way. Hello team. Gosh, I am aware it has been a long time since I have updated. I'm in the process of stacking the dishwasher, because your gal can't do one thing at a time. Anywho, go in. I have not updated for PhD related things in forever. Things got a little bit mad with general things in my life that I am not going into online, mostly because it's not really my story to tell, but it's sort of semi-resolved itself now, so I have a little bit more brain space left. I can't remember what I have. Oh god, that had milk in it apparently. I can't remember what the last thing was that I updated about. I imagine it was probably something to do with the chapter. Because that has been like my primary point of concern. Also, yes, the ceiling in my kitchen is down. Yes, it has no light, so we are backlit by a floodlight. Welcome to the life of living on a building site while trying to do your PhD. It's really good fun. Anywho, I probably last updated about the chapter. And I can hear you going, how's it going, Beth? What have you been doing? What lessons have you learned? How goes the chapter? Have you decided you like philosophy yet? I have come very close several times in the past couple of weeks to actively wanting to quit. And I do not say this lightly. I fought long and fucking hard to get this PhD. And I love my PhD, and I love what I'm doing. But good lord, academia drives me mad sometimes. Give me 2 seconds. I need to go find some more stuff to throw in the dishwasher. I will be back. I'm back. I've learnt that I've done something weird with all of my bowls. Not entirely sure where they've gone. So that's fun. Are you in here? No. I have 2 extra bowls. I don't know what I've done with them. Oh, that's annoying. Because like if they're not on the shelf, they'd have been used. Welcome to the life of having fucking ADHD. Honestly. Wait. I found them. You know why you only have 1 bowl on the shelf, Elizabeth? It's because you fucking put it in the dishwasher already, you absolute banana. Honestly, how am I responsible for a house and a PhD as well as keeping myself alive? Don't understand. Does not make sense. Anyway, right. PhD update. This is interesting light. I look very red. So not like a professional YouTuber in any way, shape or form. Anywho, welcome to my little office corner again. So, what has been going on with the PhD in the last however many days has been since I last updated? Probably about a week, maybe longer. A lot. So submitted finally got a chapter ish, depending on how generous we want to be about it. Sent it off for feedback. I very much in my head was expecting like we'll need to like rework elements of it, and I knew that there were like extra references and like bits needed expanding on and stuff needed like altering a little bit. So I sort of was expecting to have like a more of like, this is how you need to like alter the chapter so that like it's going to be suitable for submission type feedback session with my supervisors. That was very much not the feedback that we got, which was a bit sucky, I'm not gonna lie. But like, I had submitted them like a plan that I probably have mentioned in here that like detailed what I was gonna do. Also, let me just show you the sunset because fucking hell, it's beautiful. Look at that as a sunset. That's what I'm looking at as I'm like speaking to you guys. There's this like absolutely gorgeous sunset and this lovely view over the valley. Like, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. It's just gorgeous. Anyway, back to story time. So like I had submitted to my supervisors like a plan initially about like what I was intending on like speaking about, what I sort of felt like I could and couldn't detail, and it had about 2,000 words ish of like context. So like, you know, defining what dementia is, defining what I mean by creative health, talking about like the benefits of like museum-based activities and object handling type stuff. So, and this was with the intent of like, I know it doesn't belong in a methodology chapter and I'd commented as such, but my plan was to leave it in my external reviewer, or I guess technically internal reviewer of some description, could understand like the language that I was using and like, you know, what it means to like live with dementia and symptoms and like, you know, the basics that you kind of need to like read and understand like why I'm doing things the way that I'm doing them. And obviously like, I'm not a philosopher. I hate philosophy. And I very much want to stay as far away from it as possible at the moment, mostly because I'm too close to it to like be able to look at it without being like immeasurably frustrated. But anyway, like I sent it off to them, they signed it off. I then sent them essentially just a bigger version of this plan that had about 2,000 words of context in it, and a couple of like areas like the limitations that I was like, well, I can't like talk about like what my limitations are, but I was like, I can hypothesize that like, you know, according to like other research that has been done in this area, like here are some similar limitations that like my project might also face. So I had a little discussion around like, you know, quite a lot of them have had like small participant group numbers, so like that's a chance with mine, and how to go at like a positionality statement and how to go at like various philosophy things, which like I still have fucked up and I still don't know how to rectify. And like, yeah, sent it off to them and they basically came back. Everything else they raised was like, you know, you need to expand some bits and like you can't really talk about things that like you haven't done yet. It needed some more references. But the important thing was that they wanted the limitations section as well as pretty much all of this context removing. So combined, that was about 2,500 words. And then looking at the other bits that I needed to redo, like the positionality statement and basically all of the philosophy, I'm now sat here less than a month away from this deadline being like, well, I'm going to need to rewrite over 50% of this chapter. And I know that I have sat here before and been like, I am never going to get to this chapter. And it's going to be like, it's a big stress and it's a pain in the ass. And like, I got there in the end. That was different. Like I very much know that I will get there with this chapter in the long term. But at the moment, and I have said this to my team, my primary concern is that everything I now need to essentially write about and expand upon is things like philosophy, is things like, you know, stuff that I'm still trying to work out. Yes, I can expand some more on like the methodology and I can expand some more on like the ethics and accessibility of stuff, but I don't know how much more I can say on a topic that I've already spoken about without rambling. Um, like I'm quite a concise. I'm really bad at punctuation, but like I like to try and be concise with what I'm saying and say it like as clearly as possible, using as few big words as possible, because like I very much feel that academia and academic research shouldn't have fancy ass language being used in it, for lack of a better phrase. Um, so I've been very overwhelmed with all of that, and basically got the feedback back from them, saw how much they wanted me to delete, and just like freaked the fuck out. Because like I don't know how much I've spoken about this before, because like I don't really go back and watch the videos. But like this review is along the same timeline as, you know, when I was made redundant in Huddersfield. I've done like a fair amount of like chatting about it in therapy, to try and understand like why I'm essentially going into like fight flight mode and like having trauma responses to this, which I'm hoping long term is going to calm down. But at the moment, my head is so taken up with essentially feeling like it needs to survive this, what it feels like is an unsurvivable situation, and what it's, you know, I very much logically feel like I'm going to be fine, but like emotionally, and this is why I talk about my brain as like a separate being, because I sometimes do feel like there's two sides of me. There's like the PTSD side, and there's like the logical, like me as I am now, like calm and able to like articulate things and not being like impacted by like the shit that other people have done to me. But like my brain very much like says that like I'm gonna fail this, and like I'm not gonna succeed, and like everything that I have, all of the stability that I have with my house, is all gonna be taken away from me, because like I'm not gonna manage to get it, like do enough to pass this review. And it's become very stressful. It's a stressful thing anyway, because like, you know, they are formal reviews. Yes, okay, how formal they are depends on like who your team is. But you know, they are a touch base for like making sure that you're on track with where you need to be. And mine just has like an extra layer of like chaos to it. So yeah, because my brain is so busy essentially trying to survive stuff, I am not doing a very good job at being able to take on new information. Because at the moment I look at the amount of time that I need to like dedicate to understanding something like philosophy, and how hard I have tried to understand it, and how little I feel like I have moved. Yes, okay, I have come on a bit, but like in my head, like it's not coherent enough for me to be able to explain it to anyone, and that's the problem. I can't even explain it to myself. Like I understand the language a little bit better, but like I still wouldn't like want to discuss this with anyone, because I'm just like, they keep mentioning words and I'm like, I don't know what these mean. So it just sort of feels like I'm not going anywhere fast enough, and then my brain panics, and then like it makes itself worse by panicking over the fact that I can't do it. So it's now kind of become a point where like I'm too close to this philosophy, and it's too much of a stress for me to actually be able to look at it calmly and go, which of any of these feel like they're kind of right for my project. So like I know long term, and I think this is what I need to say to my team, is like I'm too close to it at the moment. Like there's too much kind of going on in my head for me to be able to like process like philosophical related information, because like it needs so much time, and it's not helped by the fact that like I currently have a lot going on in my life, and I'm kind of losing the bandwidth to like calmly look at new information and not get really stressed out by it. So like my plan, I said to my therapist today, I was like, my plan, once I have done this chapter and submitted it and like got through the 9-month review, is like literally not look at anything like philosophy related until, you know, July, when I come back from France, and like focus on like, you know, the literature review and like some other bits and the ethics, and like going out and like, you know, starting to do some stuff with National Museum Wales, trying to set up like advisory boards, trying to, you know, get like the logistics kind of in place for this project to like get going in like October time. So yeah, it's sort of feeling a bit daunting, and I'm really nervous about the meeting tomorrow that I've got with them. This week is going to be insane anyway. I basically have back-to-back meetings from 11 until like 3 tomorrow. I'm meeting Thomas though about my paper, so I'm very excited about that. And then I've got a meeting with the dean and the librarian about like disabled student allowance related stuff. And then I have to run halfway across Cardiff between Glamorgan and the Spark building in half an hour. Normally it takes me like 20 minutes if I don't have like a lot of heavy stuff with me. So I'm a little bit like, I've got my laptop and I'm probably gonna have a book and some water and my headphones and my phone, and I'm a bit like, my pot's ass is gonna be like keeling over by the time I get to the door, and then I've got to go up like 3 flights of stairs because I refuse to use the lift because I don't know where the lift takes me out. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. Yes, we are back in the office for another office update. I love the colour of my hair, by the way. It's got like a really peachy corally colour. Just did supervision. Most of my problems are solved. They have undied on the philosophy hill that they were previously adamant on dying on. So that's good. I have notes as well. I'm just about to leap on a call with my friend Thomas to chat about the publication of my museum-based CST findings, which is a bit crazy. So I am trying to find the thing. I'm still not entirely convinced that like this chapter, you're gonna have to excuse the brain's inability to like think of words today. I don't think the chapter's gonna kind of be how I want it, but I've honestly like reached a point where I'm like, I'm so over it that I just want it done. So if that means it being less good than I want it to be, then like I will deal with that. Okay, I found the thing. Do I have a notebook? The reason you haven't previously seen me in my office, even though I have been basically in all day, and in significantly more than this would lead you to believe. Also, don't worry about that. I scratched myself moving a rose bush. The reason I'm back here rather than like the reason you haven't seen me in this office for ages is because I just don't use it. My friend Kat has given me, I think I probably said, access to her office. I already had access to it downstairs, but like I'm officially a member of it now. Yeah, so that's why you kind of haven't seen any like uni related things, because like I really want to like chat about stuff like that when I'm in a shared office that is actually used. But I've come up here because I had my meeting with Thomas, and I really am fed up of feeling like I'm disturbing people who are working downstairs. So I was like, actually, I will come up here and do it instead.
It would be useful to foreground your observations, because all these findings are based on your observations, right?
Yes.
So rather than saying participants were less engaged, she's actually saying what made you think that, right? Saying that participants stopped talking or withdrew into themselves, were less conversational, seemed to be sitting, looking at those kind of things, rather than, and then saying this could relate to their level of engagement or something like that, rather than saying they were less engaged, and then in the next line saying, I think all the information pretty much is there. It's just, I would just flip it. It just
needs a tweak, doesn't it? Like,
it just flip it around to make it more about that it's clear that this is grounded in your observation, right? What is the evidence that you're basing these assumptions or inferences on? I think that's the main thing. Yeah, overall, I think I should have said that at the start. Sorry, that I think it is really good, and I think it's very close to being publishable, right? So you never know at the moment. I don't know if anybody else, if you've been speaking to other people about publishing it's really cutthroat at the moment because primarily nobody wants to review anymore since COVID. It's really, I'm from a since editor of a journal, and it's killing me. It's just impossible to find people to peer review because it's not paid. It's obviously everybody's busy, so it's really hard to find peer reviewers, and that makes publishing much more difficult because editors are much more ready to desperate check things. You know, if they think this is not 100% in line. Hopefully, with arts and health and the topic that this is about, that shouldn't happen.
Oh, you drew me in my kitchen. Welcome to May, people. How the fuck is it May already? What is going on? I've just had a lovely evening, like I sat out in my garden. I've been doing a bunch of stuff on the house. I think the first Doctor Does Up a House video will be up this month. So there might be sort of every 2 or 3 months that I do them. Sorry if you can hear the fan from my oven rattling the fuck away. It annoys me too. I'm gonna do some baking because tomorrow I am joining the Centre for Adult Social Care Research team, which I am part of. They are doing a all-day meeting event type update thing, which I was invited to as one of their postgraduate research students, or PhD students. And part of that is making stuff for a bring and share type lunch thing. So I am cleaning down my kitchen because it is a mess. Not because I want it to be a mess, because I've been taking stuff out of the bathroom through a hole that doesn't really show up very well on camera. There. It's like, you basically can't really see it. But there's a hole in my ceiling where the end of that white pipe that you can see that looks like it's sticking up in the ceiling should go. Because that's where the shower was. I've not had a proper shower for over a week now. So sink baths have become like my new thing. They are not as luxurious as they may sound. Not that they sound very luxurious, so they're even less luxurious than they sound. I sort of don't really feel like I'm ready. I got the ethics in last week. I didn't update because I was running around like a headless chicken. And I've basically spent every waking moment destroying my bathroom in the hopes that I can put it back together with my dad this Thursday when he comes down. Thursday and over the weekend. We're not just doing it in one day. I very, very much hasten to add. Because we are good, but we are not that good. So yes, I am making quiches. I'm probably going to do caramelised onion and cheese quiches and then just some plain quiches. Although I only have 4 eggs left, and I really can't be asked to go down to the shops to get some more. I could, if I could be bothered. I really can't. So we're doing mini quiches. I say bringing out a muffin case. I don't think I want anything smaller. That's kind of not really how I planned that, but whatever. We're adapting, we're adjusting. So this month is 9-month review, even though it is month either 7 or 8, I can't quite remember which. I do have a chapter. I don't like the chapter, and I'm not really sure how to improve the chapter, but I have like 9 days until it's being submitted to the team. So that's a bit crazy. I sort of don't really feel like I'm ready for that to happen. So yeah, that's happening. I am doing quite a few exciting things this month. So I'm off to a conference on the 19th with National Museum Wales, which I'm quite excited about. It is in Aberystwyth, do need to work out parking. I'm a bit stressed about driving there, but like, I don't need to leave until probably 9:30. AM, not PM. So I'm doing that on the 19th. 20th is obviously 9-month review, which I'm a little bit nervous about, I'm not gonna lie.
But that is just the submission date. I'm then off doing an event again with the care team on the 20th. It's a dementia action week and I'm running a creative mind mapping activity thing, so that will be nice. I'm also doing some networking stuff. So one of the lecturers, whose name is Kate, who taught me on my favourite module that I think I've ever done, which is high to say because like I loved a lot of the modules I did at UCL. Definitely my favourite like post-grad, like PhD type module. But anyway, Kate and Bella were the two who taught the museums module that I loved. So I am going to go have a coffee with Kate, because we keep running into it. We're both based in Glamorgan and we keep running into each other, and every time we run past each other we keep being like, oh, we need to go and get coffee, I really want to know what you're up to. So we're doing that at some point in the week of the 11th. I want to say the Wednesday, I could be wrong. So that will also be nice. And then I've probably got a couple of other bits that I'm doing. My next supervision is not until the 20-something, end of the week that I'm doing a whole bunch of crap, basically. I'm gonna go make some quiches and some dinner, because I don't think I'm gonna make enough quiches with 4 eggs that I can have any. I'll see. If I can, I'll make some extras and stick them in the freezer, because you can never cram too much crap in my freezer. Alright, I will see you tomorrow. Morning. We are ready to go to this care event thing. I've got so many bags, it's gonna look like I'm moving into Glamorgan again. Oh, the deep joys. Right, I'm gonna stick you guys here for 2 seconds. So, yes, I'm drawing a whole bunch of stuff in the house. Yes, it looks like a mess. You're welcome. I have got quiches with me. I am debating whether or not I bring my laptop. I'm thinking I don't, because I don't think I'm going to need it. I'm in meetings, so I feel like my notebook will probably be fine. Yeah, let's do that. My laptop's quite heavy. I sort of feel like if I don't need it, it can just stay here. Okay, I do need that though. Can't forget the uni card. Well, I mean we could, but then we'd just like not have any luck getting into anything. Given that I have absolutely no idea where I'm going today, just know I'm in Glamorgan room 1.68. I think. We'll see. Anyway, I will update you guys whenever I get a chance. I am very nearly ready for my 9-month review to go in. I feel like a weight has been lifted. So much paperwork. Definitely not my strongest piece of work that I've ever done. And I have concerns that I'm not going to discuss online because I don't feel like that's professional. We are dealing with them. But it's not going as planned, put it that way. So we'll see what happens. Hello. You join me in my garden in my egg chair, because I basically live in this thing at the moment because it's essentially the only like seat in the house that's like decent, and it's not even in the house, so that speaks volumes about the state of my house at the moment. PhD update. We've just descended into chaos. Yeah, it's just a mess. My 9-month review is in and done for now, but it is currently unknown whether or not my current supervision team are going to end up staying on or not. We've been having some issues around communication. I'm not going to go into it online because I don't really think that's fair. Yeah, like there's been a lot of back and forth over this chapter.
which has been really stressing me out. So I said to them I need to talk to them about it to basically try and like stop it from happening again. That's the long and short of it, without going into like detail about what was said and who said what and blah blah. And yeah, we're now essentially being a bit like, they may well get a bit butthurt. There's a chance that they might get butthurt and leave. So we'll see how Thursday goes in terms of that conversation. But I'm sat editing my paper from my master's study, and have been for the last half an hour or so. It's like nearly 8. Having spent all day doing house stuff, it's like I may as well come and sit and enjoy the nice evening that we've got in some fresh air in my egg chair, and do some work, because I keep calling it a chapter, this paper is not going to edit itself. So I think I'm probably like halfway through re-editing it. And we're very much like strengthening it. And then it's going to go back off to the project partners. Hopefully they'll agree that it can be published. And ideally, excuse me, they will agree to it being published with their organisations being named, so that I don't have to wonder how the hell I talk about the V&A in an anonymised fashion, because like people are gonna know that it's the V&A. So we'll see. But I love working with Thomas. He's such a chef's kiss of a dude. He's a good friend, and he's an amazing academic. He's not even a good academic, he's like top notch amazing academic, and he's bloody good at like he's essentially being like a supervisor / co-author, and he's bloody good at it. Like, you can tell he's been doing this for a while, and I really wish that I'd managed to get him on board for the PhD in some capacity, because like we would make one hell of a cool team. But yeah, didn't manage to convince him to up sticks and move to Cardiff University, sadly, so that I could have my funding. I also don't think he has time to be PhD supervisor. But if he did, I would love him to come on board. It'd be so cool. So yeah, my plan is to try and get this ready to go back to him at some point next week. So that it is then ready to go to the project partners by the end of the month, which I'm aware is coming up really quick. They're probably going to get it like the 1st or 2nd week of June. So yeah, I feel like I'm doing stuff. My brain hurts 24/7 at the moment. But yes, I feel like academic things are going well. PhD I really feel like isn't going well. But maybe it will be after next week. It's gonna be one hell of an awkward conversation on Thursday. When I submitted my 9-month review paperwork, I didn't realise until basically I did the paperwork, at which point like it was too late to do anything about it. Because I did the paperwork the day of me submitting things. Apparently they're meant to have seen and signed off on my plans for things. So that was fun. It's just gonna be an awkward week. I'm bringing my roller skates with me to uni. And I'm basically gonna focus on this paper. And I've got a couple of advisory board meetings that I'm setting up that I'm really excited about. I am dying on my I want advisory boards hill. I don't care if it's overly ambitious. I am dying on this hill. I am having advisory boards. They are being involved. End of story. So yeah, we'll see. I will keep you posted as much as I can. And we'll just see how it goes. Yeah. Too many things to think about. I'm gonna go back to editing this paper. And then have some food, fall into bed, rinse and repeat tomorrow with more bashing the living shit out of my house. It's so much fun. Don't try and do a project house and a PhD at the same time, guys. It's not worth it.